Hey everyone, today we will be talking about pelvis rotation in the golf swing and what it means to the golfer when looking at their overall performance. Pelvis rotation is the amount of rotation or turn a golfer generates in their golf swing and is measured relative to the target line. Positive rotation is rotation that is more open to that target line, and negative rotation is rotation that is more close to the target line, or that would happen in the backswing. Pelvis rotation is important because it will influence the possible start direction of the shot and how much speed a golfer is able to generate in their golf swing. Typically, a larger amount of rotation will give the player more time to produce speed in their downswing. The proper amount of rotation is very dependent on the player and what their body is able to produce. When a player can produce rotation and remain stable in the other movements of forward and backward bend and side bend, then they have the ability to use that rotation. But if they are achieving the rotation by losing stability in those other metrics, more commonly they will not have the ability to use that rotation in a good way to produce speed in their golf swing. Typically, we will see rotation between 30 and 50 degrees in the backswing. That's negative 30 to negative 50 degrees because it's close to the target line. And we will see about the same amount, or should see about the same amount in an efficient example when they get to impact on the positive side. Now this is a wide range and it's directly related to the player's mobility and stability capabilities in their lower body, primarily in their hips. At address, we'll typically want to see the pelvis rotation about 0. That means that it is square to our intended calibrated target line. If the pelvis gets too open or too positive or too closed, too negative, it could lead to alignment issues and issues controlling the start direction of the shot and the outcome of the overall shot. At the top of the swing, as mentioned, we typically see between negative 30 to negative 50 degrees, but again, it's very dependent on the player and what is the right amount for them. Ideally, we want the most amount of rotation, assuming the player was able to achieve it by maintaining good bends and good side bend patterns with their pelvis. Some typical faults that we would see when a player is rotating is under-rotating or over-rotating. Under-rotating could be due to poor mobility, and over-rotating could be due to poor stability and not enough strength in the hips to maintain the pelvis rotation. At impact, we want to see a similar amount of rotation that the player had in the max amount in their backswing. This will provide some symmetry to the pelvis movement and can help greatly with the player's tempo and timing in their swing. The same under-rotation or over-rotation flaws can show up at impact as well, again for the same reasons, mobility or stability issues in the lead hip. We can see pelvis rotation patterns by looking at the pelvis angles graph or by looking at pelvis rotation metrics in the swing summary. In conclusion, pelvis rotation is important because it can influence shot direction and overall speed production in the golf swing. If the pelvis does not rotate efficiently, the player will commonly attempt to make up for it with other motions in their arms and their hands and try and compensate for something that's not happening much earlier in their swing. This will lead to more variability in their shots and much harder for your players to time it and create consistency. Balance out your pelvis rotation and help your players see direct results on shot direction and overall speed.